Hi, I'm Joel Stevenson. I'm the CEO of Yesware. Yesware actually started the sales engagement category, 9 or so years ago. And at the time, Yesware was really just setting out to build software that was built for actual salespeople versus salespeople have used software for years, largely CRM, but CRM was always about management control and top-down and the ability to sort of keep information inside of the company. But it was never really meant for the rep to help them do their jobs any better. And so that was the original founding philosophy of Yesware. So part of what we tried to do in the early days was adapt some concepts from marketing automation about who's opening your emails, how are people engaging with those emails, what are they doing, and adapt that into a sales context, which largely meant that we were taking emails and letting reps know when people had opened their emails, which at the time was quite revolutionary. Now, we added more and more functionality to that. Other people entered the space, and it sort of became this weaponization of automation to try to drive more and more volume into the system. Sales engagement today has sort of gotten out of control in the sense that what we're seeing is the science of selling is dominating the art of selling. And what's happening is people are spending more and more time just figuring out what tools and automations they can put together to put out more and more emails or more volume of communication. And we've actually lost sight of the fact that sales is actually a conversation between two people towards mutual sales benefit. So what we're trying to now do is reel that back in and try to save reps time, but in service of actually having better conversations, not having more conversations. One thing that we're seeing as a result of what I would view as the overuse of sales technology and sort of the irresponsible use of sales technology is salespeople sending just massive amounts of spam emails. From the data that we're seeing, we think it's something like an additional 1 billion spam emails being sent every quarter from various systems in the space. So what's happening is buyers are recoiling, and where you used to be able to get a quality message through to a prospect, you may not be able to do that anymore. And so what we're slowly witnessing, in my mind, is the tragedy of the commons as applied to buyers. And we've already pulled back from cell phones thanks to robocalling. In many industries, you'd be hard pressed to get somebody to pick up the phone ever. And now we're starting to see that with email as well, where some people's email inboxes are almost being rendered useless because of the fact that they're receiving so much crap. That is not good for the spread of ideas, which in turn is not good for business productivity in general. And so somehow as an industry, we need to come to grips with this, and we need to figure out how can we reduce the noise in the system such that actually the real conversations can happen and aren't encumbered or don't have to be gamed in order to be able to have a real connection, a real conversation with somebody. Personalization, when I originally started my sales career, was really about actually understanding what was interesting about a person, what might be interesting to their company, how your unique product and service could help that company achieve their business objectives. And so you used to really do that research before trying to write an email that would really get somebody's attention. There wasn't really a way to scale that effectively. Now with newer technologies like Yesware, people are able to communicate to a much broader set of people a consistent message, but then insert little pieces of information that seem personal to the recipient. And so some people have called this personalization at scale. When that first started, that actually worked pretty well, but the bar for personalization has gone up significantly after people have received tons and tons of these emails. Now we're getting back to a place where you actually really have to personalize the messages again, but you also have to still send out a reasonable amount of those messages. And so how do you do that? So that's where we need to bring technology to bear to that problem to allow people to quickly get the information that they need to send personalized messages, but be able to do it in a way that actually conveys the unique business value you can deliver to a customer. The future of Yesware is helping sales professionals really build long-term relationships with their customers. And in order to do that, you really need to know where to spend your time. And so what we're increasingly focused on is helping people understand what opportunities to focus on, what people within those opportunities to focus on, how to engage with those opportunities, when to engage with them, and what mediums in which to engage them with. Sales is super complicated. At any given point in time, you have an infinite amount of choices and things to do. And so we want to be your co-pilot in reducing those choices to a more reasonable and meaningful set of options that can actually improve your performance.